You, in this matter, are released on your own recognizance. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sharice Newell.
Hello.
Hello. May I have your name and date of birth?
Sharice Knowles, May 22nd, 1992.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Knowles, I have you here on one matter. It is a probation violation warrant on criminal case CR 2023-158307. That case has an underlying conviction of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation in that matter. The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms: a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,250, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Data pass.
Hello.
No. May I have your name and date of birth?
Data pass, November 28th, 1998.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Pass, you are here on one matter. It is a probation violation warrant in criminal case CR 2021-007242 that involves an underlying conviction of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony.
Yes, ma'am.
You are alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 7 of your probation. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you and is setting a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following release terms: a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Sorensen. May I have your name and date of birth?
Danielle Sorensen, August 26, 1994.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Sorensen, I have you here on 4 matters. They're all probation violation warrant matters, okay? I'm going to go through them quickly, but one at a time. All right. In your first matter, you're here on a probation violation warrant for criminal case number CR 2024-137094. That case involves a conviction for possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. You are alleged to have violated terms 3, 7, and 13 of your probation. The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms: a $1,000 secured appearance bond. Additional terms include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. The second matter is a probation violation warrant in criminal case CR 2024-124903. That matter involves a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. You are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 in that case. The court is appointing you an attorney. The court is setting a probation, revocation, arraignment, and disposition, possible disposition, for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is setting the following release conditions. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. The additional terms that I read in your first matter, including no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a license, apply in this case as well. So make sure you thoroughly read your paperwork for all of the release conditions. Your third matter is a probation violation warrant in criminal case number CR 2023-125836. That case involves an underlying conviction for possession of a forgery device. You are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation in that case. The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting a probation revocation arraignment, possible disposition hearing for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following release terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond, in this case in the amount of $200. The court is imposing all of those additional release terms that I recited earlier in this case as well. And finally, you're here on a probation violation warrant in criminal case CR 2023-118038. And that is a case with an underlying conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. 3 and 7 of your probation. The court is appointing you an attorney. The court is setting your probation, revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition for the same date as all the others. That's November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. You have a secured appearance bond in this case in the amount of $200, along with all those additional release conditions that I previously stated. So, attorney in all 4 cases, same court date, but make sure that you read your release.
I just have one question. I apologize.
That's okay.
I had just called in to see if I was eligible for bond like a week ago. And can you just double check it was, I know you said 1,000 for 2 of them, but I believe it was 1,000, 100, and 200. It should have been a total of 1,500. I just want to make sure I clarify.
So, in the first matter, it's 1,000. Second matter, 100. Third matter, 200. Fourth matter, 200.
Okay, correct. So I was correct. 15.
15.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to make sure that was correct.
If I misstated something, the written orders, which you will receive, reflect the court's final orders, and they are what I just read. So it is a total of 1,500, okay? Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Philip Enriquez, please. Sir, can I have your name and date of birth?
2388 and Philip Enriquez.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're here on one matter. It's a failure to appear bench warrant in your criminal case number CR 2024-124923. That case has 2 counts. 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor. Right? The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a status conference on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 17th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. Secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. No weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license, okay? Thank you, sir. Rudy Regalado, please. Give me one moment. Okay, so you're here on, I'm sorry. First of all, can you give me your name and date of birth?
Rudy Regalado, 7/15/85.
Thank you. You're here on 3 matters, all right? So I'm going to take them one by one. The first one is a probation violation warrant in your criminal case number CR 2023-155247. That involves an underlying conviction of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. You are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. The court's appointing you an attorney and setting a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court's imposing the following terms. A secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. No weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours, all right? In the second matter, you're here on a probation violation warrant for your criminal case number CR 2022-145353. That case involves a conviction of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and you are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of that probation. The court is appointing you an attorney and setting a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. Other terms of release apply, including no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Finally, sir, you're here on a case involving allegations of 3 new offenses. Those allegations are 2 counts of possession of dangerous drugs, both Class 4 felonies, and 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. The court did not find probable cause as to any of those offenses, okay? So I'm not going to set any release conditions in that matter. Now, I want to be very clear, you still have court dates set in this case. Just because I did not find probable cause at this point doesn't mean that you won't be charged, all right? So it's very important that you attend these court dates. There's a status conference on November 21st at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. The court appointed you an attorney in this matter to represent you should those charges be filed. But aside from appointing you an attorney, setting those hearings, the court is not imposing any release conditions, okay? Thank you. Matthew Flora. Hello, can I have your name and date of birth?
Matthew Flores, 03/27/99.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. All right, you're here on two matters. The first is a probation violation warrant in your criminal case number CR 2021-145736. That case is the one with the underlying conviction of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 1 misdemeanor. You're alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation. The court's appointing you an attorney and is setting a probation revocation and possible disposition for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. There are additional release conditions, so read your paperwork. They include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. The second matter is another probation violation warrant. This one is in your criminal case CR 2023-002068. That's your case involving the convictions for facilitation to commit either sale or transportation of dangerous drugs, class 6 felony. You are alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation in that matter. The court's appointing you an attorney, setting the same court dates. Probation, revocation, arraignment hearing, and possible disposition hearing on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release, and you have the following release terms: a secured appearance bond in the amount of $400, and the same additional release conditions that you have in the first matter, which include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license. Make sure you contact your probation officer, okay? All right, thank you. All right, may I have Houston Silva, please?
Houston Silva, 31289.
Give me one moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot to do one little check mark initially, so I think I have to.
Which one?
On Mr. Silva, 19.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna re-sign it.
The reprint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so okay, just give me one more second. So, okay, no, it's okay. Okay, Mr. Silva, I have you here for one matter. It involves allegations of new offenses. They are possession of dangerous drugs for sale, class 2 felony, possession of narcotic drugs for sale, class 2 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony, the possession or use of a weapon in the commission of a drug offense, a class 4 felony, and possession of a weapon by a prohibited possessor, a class 4 felony. The court did not find probable cause on any of the allegations, okay? So what that means is that I'm not going to give you any release conditions. However, it's very important that you understand that just because this court didn't find probable cause at this very early stage in the process with the limited information that this court has, it doesn't mean that you won't be later charged with something, okay? That's very important to remember. Because of that, the court is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this matter, and the court is setting 2 hearings, right? So a status conference on November 21st at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. So even though there's no probable cause finding now, and there's no release conditions set, you will be released with no conditions imposed, It's still very, very important to go to these court hearings because between now and the court hearings, the county attorney could choose to file one or all of the offenses. You just don't know, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, may I please have Jermaine Turnage? All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Jermaine Turnage, 11/9/94.
Okay,
2 days before my birthday.
all right. Sir, I have you here on one matter.
Yes, ma'am.
It's an allegation of a new offense that is hindering prosecution in the first degree, a Class 5 felony. The court did find probable cause as to that allegation. The court is, based on your financial affidavit, the court cannot at this point make a finding that you are indigent, okay? Which means at this point, given on your finances, I can't appoint you a court-appointed attorney. However, you have 2 court dates coming up. One is a status conference on November 21st at 8:30 a.m., and the other is a preliminary hearing on November 25th at 8:30 a.m., okay? The dates and times for those hearings are going to be written on your paperwork, as well as the location of the courthouse. It's very important that you show up. And you can always readdress the issue of court-appointed counsel with the judge, so the judge at your status conference. Okay.
I have a question too.
Yes.
Because I do armed guard security at QT, I had them knocking on my door. I was in the shower, did not hear anything, and they just like went above and beyond. So
Okay,
I was
so
seeing if I can get that down to misdemeanor, or do I got to wait till court?
so you got to wait till court
Okay.
and talk to your attorney about it, okay?
Okay.
So, well, I say talk to your attorney about it. You can either hire an attorney at this point, or if you feel like you can't afford to hire one, then address that issue at your status conference. But you are eligible for release, okay?
Thank you.
The court is releasing you without a bond, but is releasing you to pretrial services, all right? So you're not going to have to post a bond.
Okay.
You will get an envelope of information on how to contact pretrial services and what you need to do to comply with their program just while you're pending your court dates, okay? Now, other release conditions include no contact with any complainants or witnesses or arresting officers,
Okay.
no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a license, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so it looks like we have 2 other non-house calls, Alexander Thorne and Isaac Cobos. Is everyone else cleared?
Yes, Your Honor, the rest of the courtroom is cleared.
Thank you.
Yeah, besides the 2.
Okay. And do we have the counsel for the state? Yes. Okay. All right. Could I have Alexander Thorne, please?
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Could I have your name and date of birth?
Yes, Alexander Thorne, 04/23/2001.
Okay. And counsel for the state, if you could make your appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening. Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. Mr. Thorne, I have you here on one matter. That matter involves allegations of 2 offenses. One is an allegation of molestation of a child, and one is an allegation of sexual conduct with a minor. The court is appointing you an attorney and setting a status conference for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing for November 17th, also at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to address release conditions. And counsel, would you like to be heard on release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would like to make a recommendation in regards to conditions of release and bond. Your Honor, the state is asking for a bond in this case in the amount of $250,000 cash. Part of the reason for that recommendation are the allegations themselves. They're very concerning to the state, and the state believes that the suspect is a danger to the community, as well as specifically a danger to the to children in the community. The second half of the reason for the recommendation, Your Honor, is due to the suspect's criminal history. He does have a juvenile record, which includes sexual conduct with a minor under the age of 15, 2 counts of that, molestation of a child, attempted sexual conduct with a minor under the age of 15. And that is from 2019, Your Honor. That was a juvenile case. Along with that, he also had 3 probation violations on that incident. Given the fact that this is the same or similar charge, Your Honor, the state has great concerns for the community. The state has concerns that the suspect will be able to abide by any conditions, that he won't break any laws, and that the potential of another juvenile being injured. So for those reasons, the state is asking for the $250,000 cash, along with standard conditions in a sex crime case, which would include electronic monitoring, no contact with minors, no internet access, and any other conditions Your Honor sees as fit. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
Could I make
Yes, give me just 1 second.
Thank you.
Mr. Thorne, I want to be very careful to remind you that you have the constitutional right to remain silent. Absolutely any statements that you make about these allegations will likely be used against you. I gave the state an opportunity to make an argument and a recommendation on release conditions. I want to give you the same opportunity if there are issues pertaining to your release that are not related to the underlying allegation. Okay, so understanding that you have a right to remain silent, would you like to make any statement to the court about your release conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to be asked to be released on my own recognizance with an ankle monitor and a specific set area, because I do understand how it all works. And I would like to say that as for the juvenile violations from probation, the violations I had as a juvenile were as a juvenile, and absolutely none of them were for a repeat offense. I've been doing very, very, very good these past few years to not be doing anything like that. I did speak with the detective. I can't say too much about that because of where we're at, but he does, in his own words, he feels that I'm not a danger to the community because it is a very old case and it is something that was disregarded for so long. He did just recently reopen it just so that way we can get it closed again. And I do want to say that I've been making a lot of strides to do better in my life. I've had a few issues the past years I have a reckless driving ticket that's on pre-trial, and the judge, he's even like, we can squash that. I was doing 20 and a 25, and then a different case, I just need the mandatory insurance report so that way I can prove to them that I did have my insurance while I was driving. That's with Surprise, the second one. Yes, I would like to ask for monitors just so that way for at least like 2 days So I need to make some money for my girlfriend so that way she can get her formula for her baby and everything. Not very long, and I understand how it looks. I just...
Okay. Just give me one
Your
moment.
Honor,
Yes, counsel.
the state did have an opportunity to speak to the case agent, so if Your Honor wants any information with that, the state's happy to include that information. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, the state does recognize that this case is from several years ago. However, this case wasn't something that just law enforcement felt like it wasn't important or it didn't deserve the attention that it needed. However, due to the custody status of several of the minors, Your Honor, it was difficult for law enforcement to track them down. Those victims or witnesses have been tracked down now, and that's why the case is where it is now. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, the state also did take the victim impact statement into consideration when making the recommendation. I forgot to mention that.
Yes, counsel, and I should have said for the record that the court also did review the victim impact statement. All right, so the court's orders are as follows. The court is imposing a cash-only appearance bond in the amount of $75,000. If you post that bond, you will be released to pretrial services. Before you are released from custody, you will be fitted with electronic monitoring and will be placed on house arrest. Additional release terms include not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with the alleged victim, any complainants, witnesses, or arresting officers, no contact whatsoever with any minors, no accessing the internet through any electronic means, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a license. Thank you.
And I would like to say, everybody who was involved was in DCS state custody the entire time.
I understand that, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just.
Okay. I just always want to remind people when they start talking about anything involving the offenses, you really have to consider your rights. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Isaac Cobos, please. All right, please state your name and date of birth.
Isaac Cole, 01-0796.
Thank you. And counsel for the state.
Good evening, Your Honor. Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Thank you. Sir, I have you here on one matter. It includes allegations of new offenses. Those offenses are 2 counts of aggravated assault, class 6 felonies, 1 count of kidnapping, class 2 felony, and 1 count of sexual assault, class 2 felony. The court has found probable cause on all of these allegations. The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting a status conference on November 14th at 8:30 a.m., as well as a preliminary hearing on November 17th at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to address release conditions first. I'm going to start by asking the state's attorney if they have a recommendation. Counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state again is asking for a bond to be set in the amount of $250,000 cash, and partially due to the fact of the allegations, Your Honor. As Your Honor is aware from the Form 4, there's allegations that the suspect sexually assaulted the victim, the victim became unconscious due to the suspect's behavior and ultimately was unable to protect herself because she was unconscious, Your Honor. It also is worth noting that the suspect has a fairly long criminal history. In Arizona, Your Honor, he has theft of means of transportation from 2020. He has criminal damage from 2020, an aggravated assault, victim bound restraint from 2020, robbery from 2020, and 2 counts of felony endangerment from 2020, Your Honor. He is also what the state could figure out, he's also on felony federal probation, and he does have an active U.S. Marshal hold on him right now. The state obviously has concerns based on his criminal history as well as the allegations. The victim in this case appears to have not known the suspect well. It seems that she knew one of the other individuals that was there, Your Honor. So for those reasons, the state is asking for a high cash bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Sir, I gave the state an opportunity to make argument about release conditions, and the court certainly is going to give you the same opportunity. If there is an argument that you would like to make for me to consider. I want to be very careful to advise you, though, to remind you, rather, of your constitutional rights to remain silent. Okay, so anything that you say about these allegations in this hearing would likely be used against you. So I want to give you the opportunity to make a statement to the court for me to consider. If that statement is not going to involve anything to do with these allegations. Do you understand?
In what circumstance?
If there's anything that you would like for me to know about, how likely you would be to appear at future court dates, or anything that you would like me to know about your perception of your safety in the community. So if there are things like that that you want me to consider, I'm happy to consider that. I just want to remind you that you have a right to remain silent as to these allegations. Okay? All right. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I just appeared to all my courts before. I paid my bonds before, I obviously can't afford that much of a bond, especially. And I would like an attorney present for the further, because most of the case isn't true.
Okay. So I did appoint you an attorney, and your next hearing is only about a week away. All right. So you should be meeting with your attorney that day, if not a bit sooner. That's November 14th. So the court is going to impose the following release conditions. The court is going to impose the cash-only appearance bond in the amount of $250,000. If you post that bond, you would be released to pre-trial services, and you would be fitted with electronic monitoring before you left the jail, upon which you would be placed on house arrest. Other conditions of release are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, not to have any contact with the alleged victim, nor any witnesses, complainants, or arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license. Okay? All of these release conditions are going to be in your paperwork, and again, you'll be meeting with your attorney within several days. Okay, thank you. You're done. Thank you so much, counsel.
Thank you. Your Honor, can the state be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Deputy, It looks like we have 2 house calls. So for Kendra Calkins and Malcolm McCann, is the reason that they're not present in the courtroom because they're either a threat to themselves or to others, or is there a medical reason or a disruption reason?
I believe both of them, ma'am, were disruption reasons.
Okay, wonderful. Then we will do both of those in-house. I'm just going to go briefly through their matters. The first one is Kendra Calkins. She is here on 2 matters. The first matter is a failure to appear warrant on a case involving 2 counts of possession of narcotic drugs, both Class 4 felonies, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and false reporting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court is appointing her an attorney and is setting a non-witness violation hearing and a disposition hearing on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. Release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license. In Ms. Calkins' second matter, she is here on another failure to appear warrant on a case involving 1 count of promoting prison contraband, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The court has appointed an attorney and has set a status conference on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. The court is setting release conditions, including a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000, along with release conditions that are in my written order. Mr. McCann is here on 4 matters. All 4 matters are probation violations. He has a probation violation warrant for his criminal case number CR 2024-106686. In that case, he is being appointed an attorney. There is a probation revocation arraignment hearing, possible disposition hearing on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. The court is holding him non-bondable as to this matter. The court finds that there is a likelihood that Mr. McCann will be violated from probation and serve a period of incarceration in this matter. His second matter is a probation violation warrant in CR 2024-104299. That involves a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. He's alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5. The court's appointing him an attorney, setting a probation revocation possible disposition for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. Release conditions for this include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750, along with other release conditions that are listed in the written orders. In the third matter, Mr. McCann has a probation violation warrant in criminal case CR 2023-134752. This is a case involving a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia. He is alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5. The court's appointing him an attorney, setting a probation revocation and possible disposition hearing for November 14th at 8:30 a.m. Release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750, along with the other release terms that are reflected in the written order. And his fourth matter is a probation violation warrant for criminal case CR 2025-000553. That is a case involving a conviction for possession of narcotic drugs. He is alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5. The court's appointing an attorney, setting a probation revocation possible disposition For November 14th at 8:30 a.m., release terms include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250, along with other release conditions that are reflected in my written orders. The court is going to, like I stated, conduct these initial appearances with these two individuals in the back of the house. If anything changes with respect to their release conditions, the written orders will certainly reflect the court's last and final orders. And with that, we'll go off the record.
All right, then she'll let you guys be seated again, okay? When you walk into the courtroom, make sure you remove your hats and your hands are put on correctly through your shirt. All right.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening. This is the time set for the 11 p.m. initial appearance calendar on November 7th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that was given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium. I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. I will let you know what you are here for, if I've appointed an attorney, if you have a bond, and what your release conditions are. I'm also going to read the victim's rights advisement. We may have some with us today virtually. If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. If we could start with Stephen Waldrep to the podium and Jeffrey Rael to the chair, please. Do you need to have Jeffrey Rael at the end? Okay, can I call him next, or do you need me to wait?
That's fine, I'll just take him out once we're done.
Okay, thank you. May I get your name and date of birth?
Stephen David Waldrop Jr., September 12, 1980, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a probation violation warrant that was issued for you with allegations you violated terms 3, 5, and 7. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you in this case and setting a probation revocation hearing November 14th at 8:30. Because this is an interstate compact case, you are being held non-bondable on this case. You will meet with your attorney before the hearing on November 14th. Did you have any questions? Okay, if you take a step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. And then I'm ready for Mr. Rayal, and then if I could have Tyrone Bennett to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jeff, well, 10/27/1978.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. And I apologize, Ms. Stetson. Can I get your appearance for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening. Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. As I was saying, sir, I am finding probable cause and appointing an attorney. I'm going to give you some hearing dates. You're going to have a status conference November 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30. Those are both in our downtown Superior Courthouse. Next, we're going to discuss your release conditions. Ms. Stetson, was there something you wanted to put on the record as it relates to release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor, the state did file a written recommendation. However, the state would very quickly like to review that recommendation for the court. Your Honor, at this time, the state is asking for a $1 million cash bond on this matter. This occurred early this morning, late last night. Your Honor, this appears to be, based on the Form 4, a very violent altercation between the suspect and the victim, who is the suspect's girlfriend. They have been together for approximately 8 years, Your Honor. There are indications through the probable cause statement that the suspect was on a large amount of cocaine, Your Honor. He was making statements about the victim being possessed and being a demon. There are allegations, Your Honor, that multiple weapons were used, along with the suspect potentially strangling the victim, Your Honor. So based on that, along with the defendant's suspect's criminal history, Your Honor, he has several convictions for aggravated assault. It does look like, according to the Arizona Department of Corrections, he served a 5-year sentence for aggravated assault back in 2012, Your Honor. Most recently, he served a 1.5-year sentence for aggravated DUI in 2023. He was released from prison last year. But based on the totality of the circumstances and the suspect's criminal history, the state does feel like $1 million cash bond is appropriate. And the state would note that the next of kin has been notified, Your Honor, and all conditions outlined in the state's written recommendation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. Mr. Rayal, I have reviewed the allegations in this case along with the criminal history and the state's recommendation. You are going to have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1 million. In the event you post that bond, you are going to have written conditions of release. It does include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any next of kin for the alleged victim in this case, and you may not possess weapons or alcohol. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions? Okay. Did you want him to walk to the left, officer? All right, if you'll go with the officer. Thank you, sir. And Ms. Stetson, if that's the only case you intend to appear on, feel free to disconnect at your convenience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If I could have Mr. Bennett to the podium and Mr. Whitsell to the chair, please. May I get your name and date of birth?
Tyrone Bennett, January 29, 1985.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a grand jury warrant. It does have an offense date of October 24th, 2024, December 28th, 2024, and October 16th, 2025. Looks like it's a range of those dates. For 1 count of theft, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of conspiracy, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of trafficking stolen property, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of illegally conducting an enterprise, a Class 3 felony, and 3 counts of organized retail theft, a Class 4 felony. I am appointing an attorney and setting an arraignment hearing November 14th at 8:30 in the morning. In this case, I'm affirming the secured appearance bond of $75,000. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
Who told on them?
I don't have any information. This is a sealed document because it's a grand jury warrant. When you get to your next hearing, it will be unsealed and your attorney will have more information as to the underlying facts.
Okay, because everybody say it's sealed. I don't know any information. I'm like, well.
Grand jury warrants are sealed. Now that you've had your initial appearance here, your November 14th hearing, your attorney and the judge will have access to the underlying information.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Whitesell to the podium and Mr. Estrada to the chair.
Hello, Your Honor.
May I get your name and date of birth?
Elijah Witzel, 10/13/2005.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 2 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you.
Okay.
You're going to have a status conference November 14th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you may not possess any weapons. All of that will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No, that's about it.
Okay, if you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Mr. Estrada to the podium, Mr. Scribner to the chair.
Judge,
May I get your name and date of birth?
Michael Anthony Estrada, 4/13/65.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for a pending drug charge. I am going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and give you some new hearing dates. You will have a status conference November 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30.
Okay.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you will have written conditions of release. Some things include not possessing drugs without a valid prescription, not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and then you'll need to ensure you attend all of your future hearings. If you were to fail to appear again, another warrant would issue and you'd forfeit any bond you paid.
I understand.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, so step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Scribner to the podium, Mr. Cowan to the chair.
How you doing, ma'am?
Good evening, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Travis Scribner,
And your date of birth.
11/15/1988.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on 3 cases. Your
3?
first case, yeah, we'll go over them. Your
Oh,
first
wow.
one is a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for you,
Okay.
related to a pending drug case. At the time you were charged for that drug case, you were on probation in 2 cases. And so because of that, it is a term 1 violation of your probation. So your other 2 cases are your probation cases.
Okay.
On your failure to appear case, I'm going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference November 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30.
Okay.
In that case, you have a secured appearance bond of $500. On your probation cases, because it is a term 1 violation, I'll appoint, excuse me, I'll appoint an attorney, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing along with that status conference on November 14th at 8:30. So between the 3 cases, you have 2 hearing dates coming up. You have a secured appearance bond of $250 in each of your probation cases. So it is a total bond of $1,000. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you will have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Is there any way you can arm me, ma'am? Because I'm really trying to get a job and get my life together and try to get my stuff together before my kids come down, in a few months that they were supposed to come down. I was trying to get before I was out there running amok. Is there any way you can just OR me instead of having a bond?
So you cannot be, I'm not going to OR you today. It looks like you were before the court on September 15th, and we released you without a bond. Hold on, let me finish the answer. You were released without posting a bond, and then you failed to appear at the next hearing. And you're also on probation, and because of that, this is a violation of your probation. So you are going to have to post that bond in order to be released from custody. Did you have any further questions as it relates to your release conditions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Callens to the podium, Mr. Warner to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Brian Cowens, 4/19/1969.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a failure to appear bench warrant for a pending drug charge. I am going to affirm the attorney previously appointed and set a status conference November 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30. You are going to have it, I am affirming the secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In the event you post that bond, you have written conditions of release. You may not possess drugs without a valid prescription, and you may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And then you'll need to ensure that you attend all future hearings. If you were to fail to appear again, another warrant would issue and you'd forfeit any bond you posted. Did you have any questions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I did show up for court. I was a little late, and they said that the warrants had went out at 3 o'clock. If you release me back to pretrial services, I will attend all future hearings. I will be there on time. But I did show up for court that day.
So your hearing was, I think, at 1:30.
Yeah, and I got there like at about a little after 3. But the warrants went out at 3 o'clock.
Right.
But I was there, and the judge told me to contact my lawyer and get the warrants squashed. But before I could do that, I got arrested.
So I am just looking at your criminal history. It does look like you've had multiple failures to appear in the past listed on here.
20-something years ago.
And it sounds like you were pretty late to your hearing. You weren't a few minutes late. You were...
You know, I got there like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Right, and your hearing was at 1:30.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, this warrant issued. So I am going to affirm that bond. You do have a $500 bond you'll need to post. If you'll step to your left, officer, we'll get you that paperwork.
Right.
Mr. Warren to the podium, Mr. Wright to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
I'm Brendan Warner, 5485.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a direct complaint that was filed. It has an offense date of May 31st, 2025 for 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. And it's my understanding you were previously seen by this court a couple of days ago and you're being held on that bond. Have you posted that bond yet?
No, my mom's in the hospital and she's working on getting it.
Okay. In this case, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and you're going to have some more hearings. You're going to have a status conference November 14th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30, and in this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $500. So that would be in addition to the bonds that you were previously given, although I think your previous bonds were cash. This one is a secured appearance bond, meaning you can use a bail bonding company if you choose to do so, which is typically about 10% plus collateral.
Okay.
In the event you post all your bonds and are released from custody, you do have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription and not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Did you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, the drugs that I was charged with were actual prescription drugs. And I just now learned the discharge today. But I have a prescription for the drugs. They were for muscle relaxers.
Okay, and so that may be something you want to use as your defense as it relates to this. This was just filed on November 7th, which is today, so that's likely why you just found out about it. The direct complaint was filed today. You're not being found guilty today. I'm just reading you the charges that have been filed against you. But when you meet with your attorney, if you in fact have a prescription for those drugs, give your attorney that information because they will be able to use that in the trial, okay? All right, just up to your left, officer. We'll get you that paperwork. Mr. Wright to the podium.
Hello.
Good evening. May I get your name and date of birth?
Isaiah Michael Najee Wright, 09-2399.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on 2 cases.
Okay.
The first one is a new charge. The other one is your probation case. Your new charge is for 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor, and because you're on probation and you were picked up for a new offense, it is a Term 1 violation. I'm finding probable cause and appointing an attorney on both cases. You will have a status conference and a probation revocation hearing November 14th at 8:30, a secured appearance bond, a preliminary hearing November 17th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 in each case for a total of $500. In the event you post bond and are released from custody, you do have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Do you have any questions, sir?
No questions at all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. All right, I'm going to take a quick recess. I've got a handful of warrants coming through. All right, I apologize for the delay. If we can continue, can I have Mr. Amici to the podium and Nancy Guy to the chair? Can I get your name and date of birth?
Kalechi Amici, 8/20/97.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on 3 cases. It does look like they are all failure to appear bench warrants that issued for you, and it looks like all the cases relate to pending drug charges. Oh, actually, hold on. It's probation revocation hearings, excuse me. The underlying charges were for drug charges, but you're on probation for those, and you missed a hearing. I'm going to affirm the attorney previously appointed, and you're going to have a probation revocation hearing November 14th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $150 in each case for a total bond of $450. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. Some of those things do include not possessing any weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No.
All right. If you could take a seat in the gallery, we'll bring that paperwork out to you. I'm going to need to reprint all of his cases.
Commissioner just rearranged it, they did another.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm going to mute myself and call that detective back really quick. Yeah, just really quick. All right, if I could have Nancy Guy to the podium and Jesus Dine to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Nancy Guy, 12/17/96.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for you related to drug charges. I am going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $350. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you will have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing drugs without a valid prescription and not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and then ensure you attend all of your future hearings. If you fail to appear again, another warrant would issue and you'd forfeit any bond you posted. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just step to your left. The officer will get you that paperwork. Jesus Dine to the podium and Dustin Kirk to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
01/24/98.
And your name?
Jesus Mandain.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I am appointing an attorney to represent you and setting a probation revocation hearing November 14th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. You may not possess weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of that will be included in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Okay, just up to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Dustin Kirk to the podium. Jason Reams to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Dustin Kirk, September 25th, 1990.
Thank you, sir. You are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5. I'm appointing an attorney and setting a probation revocation hearing November 14th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250. In the event you post bond and are released from custody, you have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Did you have any questions, sir?
No.
If you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Can I have Jason Reams to the podium and Jacob Kelly to the chair? Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jason Reams,
Can you repeat your date of birth?
June 26, 1989.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. 1 count of tampering with physical evidence, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference November 21st at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 25th at 8:30. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, and you may not possess any weapons. You're also going to get an envelope with your paperwork. You need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services once you've been released. Did you have any questions, sir?
No.
If you'll step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Jacob Kelly to the podium. Charlene Toves to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Jacob Kelly, 10/24/95.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on 2 cases. The first one is a new case. The other one is a warrant. Your new charges are for 1 count of narcotic drug possession and 1 count of dangerous drug possession, both Class 4 felonies. I am appointing an attorney and setting a status conference November 21st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 25th at 8:30. Those will both be in our downtown Superior Courthouse. You're here on a second case, and that's a warrant from the White Tank Justice Court, and it relates to failing to pay some fines or complete some classes for a DUI in 2016.
Yeah, it's fine.
Due to the nature of your charges in that case, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel, but you are going to have a hearing November 25th at 9:30. I am going to release you today to the supervision of pretrial services on your new charges. You do have written conditions of release. You may not possess drugs without a valid prescription. You may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And you'll get an envelope with your paperwork for your new charges. You need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services. On your warrant from the White Tank Justice Court, I am releasing you on your own recognizance that you're promised to appear. And again, you have the same written conditions of release, okay?
Okay.
Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, if you'll take a step to your left, the officer will get you that
Thank
paperwork.
you.
Charlene Toves to the podium and Arturo Duran to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Charlene Tovis, 10/17/86.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a new case. It is for 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 5 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference November 21st at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 25th at 8:30. In this case, I'm releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services. You do have written conditions of release. It does include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. You're also going to get an envelope with your paperwork. You need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services once you've been released. Did you have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, just step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Arturo Duran to the podium and Hunter Beasley to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Arturo Duran, 12/18/2000.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of reckless driving, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of exceeded the posted speed limit by more than 20 miles per hour, a Class 3 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You will have an arraignment hearing in the Arrowhead Justice Court on November 25th at 2 p.m. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That is your promise to appear. But you do have written conditions of release. You may not possess drugs without a valid prescription, and you may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, if you'll take a step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. I'm going to take 1 more recess and complete a warrant. All right, if I could have Hunter Beasley to the podium. May I get your name and date of birth?
Hunter Beasley, 101007.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a warrant from the state of Colorado. Did you get an opportunity to review the laminated card?
Yeah.
Okay. So your charges in the state of Colorado look like they relate to a motor vehicle theft, a couple counts of that, vehicular eluding, second-degree criminal trespass, there are 2 counts of that, reckless driving, and speeding. And they have indicated that they want to extradite you back to their state as it relates to these charges. So you're going to be given a choice today. Your first choice is you can say, yes, I am ready to be extradited back to the state of Colorado. If you were to choose to do that, you would be held here in the Maricopa County jails, non-bondable, giving them 30 days to come pick you up. That 30 days would start tomorrow as long as you don't have pending charges in Arizona. If you have pending charges in Arizona, then that 30 days would not start until the conclusion of your Arizona cases. Or in the alternative, you have the right to demand that the governor of both Arizona and Colorado sign a governor's warrant ordering you to be extradited back before that takes place. In that case, I would set a hearing here in Maricopa County, November 17th at 1:30 p.m. It is civil in nature, meaning I could not appoint an attorney to represent you, but you could hire one at your own expense. And in that case, you would have a cash bond of $5,000. In the event you posted that bond, you would be released from custody as it relates to these charges, but you would need to make sure you attended the hearing here. If you failed to appear, a warrant would issue here. You'd forfeit the bond you posted, and you'd still have a warrant in Colorado. Do you know what you'd like to do here today?
Get extradited to Colorado.
Okay, so you're willing to waive your rights here today and say you're ready for Colorado to pick you up?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions because you are waiving some very important rights. So I just want to make sure that you understand those before we move forward. Okay, so did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork? That was the laminated card?
Yeah.
And do you understand that you do not have to sign this paperwork?
Yes.
And do you understand you have the right to an extradition hearing?
Yes.
And do you understand you have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that you have the right to demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you are returned?
Yes.
And do you understand that you have right to bail in this case, which would have been the $5,000 cash, but you are will be held non-bondable if you agree to that? Do you understand you were entitled to that?
Yes.
And do you want to give up those rights and sign this paperwork?
Yes.
And has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to sign this paperwork?
No.
And have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication within the last 24 hours?
No.
Okay, I find that you are knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily signing this waiver, and I'm also going to sign it. I'm directing the sheriff's office to notify the requesting state that you are ready to be picked up. The 30 days will start tomorrow unless you have any local charges pending. It will begin at the end of the conclusion of any cases you have. Did you have any questions?
Are you able to see if there's any pending charges?
It looks like you have multiple open felony cases here in Maricopa County, and you've
Yeah.
already did the initial appearance in each of those cases. But let's look. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like you have 5 open cases here in Maricopa County. So that 30 days wouldn't start until the conclusion of those cases.
Until I get sentenced for them, right?
So you would have to complete that, yeah, in all 5 cases. Do you have a sentencing hearing on one of them in January 2026 already?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So your 30 days wouldn't start until after all those are completed. You still want to waive your rights today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you'll step up to where the officer is, we'll let you know when we're ready for you to sign. You can stand up there with him. Did it go through?
Yes.
Do you have the interpreter on the line? It's going to be probably 5 or 10 more minutes before we're ready.
Thank you.
And then if you'll take a seat in the gallery, they'll bring you that paperwork. No, because I don't need them until after I put the house calls on the record and then they get back there. Okay, thank you. The 2 remaining cases will proceed as house calls. Case number 2, due to being disruptive, Francisco Javier Aguilera, date of birth January 27th, 1975, is here on a new case for 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of shoplifting, removal of goods, a class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference November 21st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 25th at 8:30. In this case, I am releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. He does have written conditions of release. He may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, and he may not initiate contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. Case number 21, Mr. Angel Olvera. Do we know why he's not here today? Okay, was that the person that just left? Okay. All right, and number 21, Angel Olvera, date of birth January 27th, 1977, will proceed as a house call due to being disruptive. He is here on a new case for 1 count of narcotic drug violation, a class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference November 21st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 25th at 8:30. I am releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. He does have written conditions of release. He may not possess weapons, and he may not possess drugs without a valid prescription. If after I meet with these parties, anything changes, I will update the written record. This does conclude our 11 p.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 2 a.m. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I do have one case. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And
Should I introduce
officer, can
myself
you,
or-
I apologize.
Oh, yes. Should I introduce myself to your client?
Yes, please.
Buenas noches, yo seré su intérprete de español. Le voy a ayudar a comunicarse con la señorita que está en la línea. Todo lo que ella le diga yo se lo diré a usted en español y su información se mantendrá confidencial.
Officer, can you hear the court and the interpreter?
Oficial, ¿usted puede escuchar a la corte y al intérprete?
Officer, if you answered the question, you are muted.
Oficial, conteste la pregunta. Está el micrófono apagado.
Thank you so much, officer.
Muchas gracias, oficial.
All right, we are here today on a new case.
Estamos aquí el día de hoy con un caso nuevo.
It is for one count of dangerous drug possession, a class 4 felony.
Es por la posesión de drogas de crimen de primer grado.
And one count of shoplifting, a class 1 misdemeanor. Did we lose our
Goodbye.
Officer, we lost our interpreter. We are going to have to attempt to get another one on the line with us.
Okay, sounds good, Your Honor.